Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another War and Order video. Guys, you know this series, you know the game. Thank you to Camel Games for sponsoring this video and the channel. Guys, if you haven't tried out the game, this is your time to try it out because we're going to cover a big part of the game, which is being zeroed out, getting zeroed out. And I'll explain all that there is about that and what happened to me. I got attacked overnight when I wasn't protecting my troops. It happened to me a couple of times actually in the time I've been playing this game, and it is really bad when it does happen, when you get attacked when you weren't protecting your troops overnight, and it does take a little bit of time to recover, and especially if you're not careful, you might lose your troops, and that means losing basically a lot of your time. If you're somebody especially who's free to play or low spender, you lose a lot of your time spent in the game when this happens. So first things first, what is getting zeroed out? What is getting zeroed out? So what is zeroed out means losing your troops and of course your resources and whatever you saved up on top of the limits that you have within the game. So in terms of the limits that you have within the game, I'll give you guys an example from the depot here. These are the resources that you have protected. So the depot protects your harvested resources from being plundered, upgraded to raise the amount of resources protected. So you see the protection of resources right here from the depot. And as you go up in levels, you have more and more protected. But that, of course, doesn't mean much in terms of resources that you need after a point. So right now, this amount of resources being protected is not that much. The same thing here with the drill grounds. This is where you upgrade your soldiers. So you might think, okay, this is my way of protecting troops. No, that's not really the way that you protect troops. The way that you protect troops, I'll explain at the second part of the video. Right now, I want to show you where the limits are for your armies. So here is the hospital capacity. So currently I'm running 27,000 plus 62,000 here at hospital capacity. So that's a combined total of 89,000. So let's say 90,000 troops. So what does this mean? So when I get attacked, my troops go to the hospital. They start in the process of getting healed and healing them over time. So what happens to the troops that I have over 90,000? So let's say I get attacked by multiple enemies, which is what happened overnight. A couple of days ago, actually, I'm still trying to recover. I got attacked. 90,000 of my troops or so went to the hospital. I was able to heal them, but I have more than 90,000 troops. As you can see here, guys, if you click on your info tab, you'll see your total army. So I had 150,000. I swear I had more in the past, but maybe from multiple attacks, and I wasn't just noticing on what I had, and some of them got lost because of failure to pay attention. So your hospital protects 90,000 here. I have 150,000. So what happens to the excess troops? So you see here, I have excess troops running here in the sanctuary. So this is where the problem happens when you get attacked and you have, let's say, hundreds of thousands of troops. And I have these troops since I've started playing. Okay, so slowly you're doing every single day. You're doing, let's say, 5 training grounds. You're doing an amount of troops. Let's see how many I'm recruiting now, like 1,000 here. So to have 150,000, that's a ton of troops that you've been recruiting over time, and without using any speed ups. By the way, if you're using speed ups, then you get to accumulate troops quicker. But imagine if you're free to play. This is just time that you wait out. It's basically a day for me now to make what, about 5,000, 6,000, let's say, in total number of troops. So a day to make 6,000 troops. So that's a month of just strictly training plus all the resources needed to make these troops. So if I lose something over that, it's a big problem. And it also creates a problem because you cannot attack the same amount of monsters. When you run out of your troops, you can't attack what you used to attack, and it just becomes a big problem. So what happens after that 90,000 limit that I showed you here in the hospital? You also have a problem here with the sanctuary. So the sanctuary here, you can slowly start to recover troops up to 169,000. This is like a cemetery where your troops are taken and you slowly get them back. This is a passive way of recovering it, but also an active way of recovering it, where you do some active quests. These quests refresh every single day, and it allows you to basically recover all your lost troops over the course of, let's say, under a week. Okay, so I'm back right now. So yeah, as I was saying, depending on the amount of troops that you had, it's going to take you some time to recover using the holy water, which accumulates based on the amount of troops that you have. And sometimes troops are completely lost if you get attacked by enemies using the Lord skill Slaughter or the artifact skill Exterminate, okay? Because troops killed by this do not enter the Sanctuary. But again, the Sanctuary is a good way for players to basically have a base limit of amount of troops that they are securing. But for the longer term players, the big whales, this is huge losses that they should be preventing with some specific ways, some specific actions that they need to be taking. And if you're somebody who doesn't even want to have your troops going to the Sanctuary or even here into the hospital, what you can do overnight is what can help you protect your troops. One of the easiest ways to do this while you are online, as an example, is to start sending out your troops to the different either stone quarries, the iron refinery, the wood yard, wherever you want to send them. You can send your troops in there, and assuming that you're able to send enough troops from what you have from your army, then you'll be able to protect that amount of troops. So here I'm sending 10,608. I can send, let's say, to the farmstead, I can send level 5. Let's see how many I can send. I can send actually the same amount. I wonder if it's the same amount. Is it even possible for me to find a level 6? Maybe. Here I can send 12,000. So I'm able to protect a good amount of troops this way. So 12,000 times 5. That's a good chunk of troops that I'm sending around. What other things that you can do in order to protect your troops is you go back to, let's go back to my castle, and you send them over to your alliance buildings of, let's say, a stronger player, or to the alliance. Let's see if I can find it. The alliance building. Let's see. I think this is the easiest way to find it. If you go to manage alliance, go to alliance buildings right here. Find the hall. Find the alliance castle. There it is. It was right in front of me. And you can send your troops in there to reinforce and basically be hidden in there. Instead of you getting attacked and getting your resources lost, you can send all your troops in there. They're going to stay in there. They'll be protected, and you'll be at a better position for when you come back. But that's assuming that you don't want to be mining stuff overnight. So you don't want to be farming wood or you know, you don't want to farming wood or food or stone or iron. So if you don't want to be doing that overnight, because these usually take like 4 hours, you're going to be sleeping for 8 until you check on the game, let's say. You want to send maybe half of your troops here and then leave half of your troops to be mining overnight if you're somebody who is afraid of getting attacked. I, at the moment, don't have a lot of resources. So if somebody comes to check on me, it's not going to affect me that much. Honestly, I have nothing. So if somebody's attacking me, it's basically because they want to attack me. But it's not like they're going to get anything out of me if they try to attack me. There's lots of stronger players out there. And of course, alliances have fights between them. That is also something that you want to keep an eye on. Fighting between alliances is huge, and you want to keep an eye on how to protect yourself from that. The easiest way to protect yourself, let's say for a day or 3 days, is using the city buffs here. There is the peace shields that go for 8 hours. This is very minimal amount of protection because you cannot stack these up. So I can't use this 3 times and this being 24 hours. I have to use 8 hours, and then if I use it again, that's another 8 hours, and that's another 8 hours. So it has to be me actively using this in order to actually use it. If I want to use a 3-day, I gotta buy for it, but I'm just run out of gems. I want to use the 1 day, that's a little bit better, but these, I'm trying to save these for when I know I might not be able to play the game for a day or so. So if I know I'll be away, I've got something to do, then I'll run this instead of the 8 hours. The 8 hours is mostly if I just I know I'll be away for a good amount of the day. Okay, so not the whole day, but a good amount of the day, and I know that my my troops that are farming right now are gonna come back and will be in the base, but still won't be protected. So I don't want to stop them from farming, but I also want to be protected, so I'll use the 8 hours. The 2 hours do nothing, basically. The 2 hours do nothing, so I don't really use those. So that's another way of protecting your troops. And as I said, it's these small things that you want to take note of when you're playing the game, and you want to avoid having your troops being in the sanctuary, because here, yes, you don't actually lose the troops, but you do lose, you know, a couple of days of fighting, because there's tons of more of your troops that can be of use for you guys. And if you have them here in the sanctuary, you slowly start to recover this. I've already done this for 3 days now. I'm still haven't recovered all of my troops. I still have 36 more thousand. So it does take, you know, how much would I need? 435,000, and I get what, 100,000 per day or so. 120,000. So it's gonna take me like 4 days plus whatever passive holy water I'm accumulating, which is very little, by the way. Like, it's like 5,000 per hour. That's very little. So that's 10 hours. That's 48,000. So it's not that high. Okay, you need 100 hours to do the whole thing. So 100 hours is 3 days of passively stacking that. So I can't just wait it out. I have to do the quests, and I have to be mindful of how I'm using my troops. So this is how you protect your troops, guys, and War and Order. These are the ways I found. I believe there's some other ways, which I'm not exactly sure. Some strategies with sending your troops into longer marches, which I didn't really find a way to do that, and I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with that. You can also use random teleports when somebody's attacking you, or to protect yourself, but that's more so when you are actively online and you are using your watchtower to see when somebody's attacking you. But these are more advanced strategies, I would say. So these strategies I've mentioned, these are basically for you to keep an eye on. Okay, well, what is my hospital capacity? You can check on your medic tents here. These help you have more max wounded. So if I do upgrade my medic tent here, it's going to jump up by another 500 on the wounded. But honestly, that's not a lot. That's why I'm saying you gotta find ways to protect yourself more than just having these leveled up, because these take lots of resources to level up and also time, and 500 troops is basically nothing for here, for your hospital, for the wounded that you'll have. So have that in mind, guys. This is the video for today. Thank you, Kamal Games and War and Order, for sponsoring another video for the channel. Check out the game, guys, if you have not tried it out. It's a ton of fun, honestly, when you slowly get into the hang of it. It does take time, but even the free-to-play can enjoy this game if you are a fan of these strategy, army, castle building games. Thank you all, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.